I've covered Victoria Alonso, who is like a VP of, I think it's a fake position. Anyway, it's one of those positions that are made up. You know, there's a lot. If you worked in a corporate setting, you know there's a lot of people in executive positions. Not all of them have real jobs. A lot of them do. You know, you have your CEOs. I'm not of the opinion that CEOs just sit with their thumb up there behind. They don't. I've been in the corporate setting and been spend a decent amount doing technology in the corporate setting. And all the guys that were like above me, they were all workhorses, every last one of them. But there's certain ones that are like VPs of definitely these mega corporate entities. They're all fake jobs. And I believe she was the vice president of production. It's a fake job as far as I'm concerned. She came out of nowhere. I have no idea what she does particularly, but she has opinions on a lot of things that pertain to some social justice bullcrap in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is the same dickhead. Yes, I will call it that. I'm an equal opportunity guy. That is that term. When I use that term, it doesn't just apply to males. It applies to everybody. That dickhead, Victoria Alonso, said she was the one, if you remember, we talked about in a video. She's the one that got upset at the term X-Men, or rather she had them plugged in an interview. And she's like, well, why they call the X-Men? I don't know. There's a lot of women that are involved. I'm like, you stupid. You don't read a now comic. You got that job for some other bullshit. You ain't reading that. No comic book reader has a problem with the term X-Men. That's some bullshit. You hijacking, bro. That was her, same person. So she has some more things to say to get you guys enthusiastic about the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the upcoming phase, which, as far as I'm concerned, is dead on arrival. But let's talk about it. Looking at this right now, I'm covering this from MCU Direct. They did a decent job of compiling their comments. Speaking of Deadline, Marvel Studios executive Victoria Alonso talked about the secret to Marvel's continued success, then asked why every Marvel Studios movie is a #1 at the box office on its opening weekend. Alonso pinned such a consistent domination on the fact that the MCU's audience is global. The reason we have that success consistently is because our audience is global. You cannot have a global audience and not somehow start to represent. That doesn't even fucking make sense. Makes no sense whatsoever. Like, those two statements aren't even connected, guys, because if you caught the global audience, why would you need to go out of your way to try to represent a particular populace if the global audience is already captured? That doesn't make fucking sense. That makes no sense. Somehow why would you need to start to represent if you already have the global success? For us, it was really, really, really important to have that. She says, as well, she noted, she said, you can look at it from the social point of view, the cultural point of view. Again, let's read the full quote. For the longest of time, we heard a woman-led film will never open. Nobody's ever fucking said that, man. Nobody's ever made that statement, bro. Nobody says that. Nobody has made that claim. Nobody that has grown up watching these awesome movies that have been female-led, from fucking Kill Bill and on down. Nobody is making that claim. Nobody's saying that. These guys, and this is why I get so, I'm so like, what's the term? I guess I'm obviously rough around the edges, but I'm so blunt because you cannot allow these people to gaslight you, man. These guys make up scenarios, claims that maybe a small portion of the population, but it's not like a dominant conversation that people are having. Like, well, a female-led film that just can't be see any success. Nobody's claiming that, man. I say, please check Captain Marvel made a lot of money. Okay, let's talk about that real quick. I did a video, Victoria Alonso. I would love for you to check it out if you're watching my video, which I know you're not. Somebody is over there, I'm sure. It's called The Unique Shoehorn of Captain Marvel. See, we knew that you were going to do that. I called it before the movie dropped. I said, considering where this movie was, it was sandwiched in between the greatest cliffhanger and the ultimate endgame. And it was presented as if, number one, you were introducing a person who Kevin Feige stated as he was on the campaign trail for this movie, that she was going to be the most powerful character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So you sandwiched her movie after what seems Thanos, he gets his snap off. He's won, right? And now you're introducing this character and you put her movie right in between that. I said from the get-go, and I told people that was stupid, even some of my colleagues, people that you guys generally associate with me to talk about stuff like that. I said, y'all are stupid if y'all think this movie is going to flop. You're on crack. It is set up for success. Now, yeah, I know some people are going to be like, man, look, I went to the movie theaters. There wasn't that many people here. It looked like it's some shaking and moving with the numbers. Maybe. I can't make the positive claim that it is. Maybe they did cook the books a little bit. Nonetheless, there was no way they were going to allow that movie to fail. No way. It was perfect. Not the movie itself. That was dog shit. Ruined characters. What they did to my Marvel and Monica Rambeau, it can't be tolerated. But don't act like it was just, if you put that movie, like, let's say just randomly within the Marvel Cinematic Universe in a slot where there wasn't any like ultimate, like a big battle about to take place, it doesn't do nearly as well. Not even close. But you have got to your ultimate end game and you sandwich the movie in between that and you promote it as if she matters. What? People weren't going to see it. Are you crazy? This character, nobody was interested in Captain Marvel. Your comic book sales are indicative of that. Y'all rebooted by the time the movie came out. Y'all rebooted her within that last decade like 8 times. Like, please buy our. Y'all were telling us that y'all were about to force feed her. She never caught on. It was just a shoe on. It's like y'all wanted obviously you couldn't use any of the mutants. And for whatever reason, you don't want to get behind Scarlet Witch. So you decided that you wanted this uber powerful female character to be there. And you picked probably the worst one you could. Let's continue on real quick. I kind of went on a tangent there. Then they always told us that Black Panther was never going to open and nobody wanted a completely black cast. Who has made that claim? Victoria Alonso is making shit up. But this is what they do. They have to have dragons to slay. They need demons to slay, bro. They have to create some fictional, like, narrative that nobody is actually arguing in the real world here. Again, if they are, it's a small, minute point of, like, part of the actual populace that's making that argument. It's certainly on comic book lovers. You're making shit up. You're making it up. Nobody is claiming it. They said nobody. Who they? By, I don't know, one person in the world. Like, we weren't saying that. That made 1.3 billion. So you can look at it from a social point of view and a cultural point of view, or you could just look at it again. One was a unique shoehorn. The other was what we had was a situation in which you took what is arguably the most prominent Marvel black character, certainly not associated with the X-Men, and you made a movie about him. The fuck did you think? I don't know, man. Let's continue on. She says, from a fiscal point of view, you are leaving money on the table by not representing. But you just said that you guys have had a global audience by obviously not prioritizing that as much, but whatever. By not representing, I think 51% of our audience is female, 28% of our audience is I have no idea where they're getting these numbers from. I would love to know where they're getting these numbers from, where they're direct like 28%. When you buy movie tickets, do they ask you what race you are? Did I miss that? I've never been fucking asked. Was I Hispanic? Nobody asked me shit. Just got the ticket. Well, where they getting these numbers from? Either way, whatever. I mean, the makeup doesn't matter. If we don't represent the people that watch what we make, we eventually they'll go elsewhere because someone else will figure it out. Like, I think you overstate your importance, because there are movies that have little to no diversity in terms of who the makeup is, and a lot of times that makes sense, and they are some of the top selling, top grossing movies ever. Sometimes it happens, and sometimes there's a majority, there's a minority. Sometimes that's the way that the ball bounces, and there's nothing wrong with that. And people from the global audience will consume that. Like, it's not going to kill me to do a movie, to see a movie called Thor, and let's say it takes place in fucking Asgard, which is obviously based on Norse fucking mythology. So you expect all the characters to be white. Fortunately, they're not. In the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you got black fucking Asgardians, which makes no fucking sense whatsoever. Nonetheless, let's assume that's the case. So you get an exclusively white cast to depict accurately the Asgardians. Okay, cool. I watched that. I would love it in the event that it's actually a believable Thor film in that regards, or even if it was an Odin film or what have you. It doesn't matter. If, let's say, this is just for the sake of conversation, if that was the makeup, we watch it. It's based on one of our favorite, albeit comic book characters, based off the Norse mythology. But you get what I'm saying. It's based off one of our comic book characters. What's the big shit? See, someone brought up projecting, and I think there's a good bit of that, right? And what we mean by that is that there's people that are wired and in which they can't see out things outside of like race, sexuality, gender, and stuff like that. So they believe that a lot of us have placed our entire self-worth, as well as what we see as valuable entertainment, upon whether or not the person that we're looking at or the group of people that we're looking at have the same fucking skin tone as us, or the same sexuality as us, or speak the same language. That makes no fucking sense whatsoever. But there are a lot of people that have gotten a lot of money off of this narrative. I'm not even talking about Marvel. I'm talking about race hustlers and social justice activists. But basically what this does is it reassures the direction that they're going in and what they're prioritizing it. So when you understand what, like, for example, Kevin Feige's also changed his tune on this and started speaking more and more about they're prioritizing diversity. This is why they wanted to use the Eternals, because most people didn't know who the Eternals was. And obviously, if you do know who they was, none of the characters for the most part look anything like what their comic book counterparts are. But they did that specifically so they could tokenize those characters, thinking that, well, not that many people are going to get mad at it because these are characters that aren't that noteworthy. He said that. We covered that in the video. That's the direction that they're going in, and that's what they're prioritizing. So, again, this isn't merit-based. This isn't what the customers want or anything. It's more of, okay, we need to signal in the process. Now, great. If you have a character that may be of X race or gender or whatever, you may see them pop up. But they're not going to, don't believe that it's going to be organic, and don't believe that you're even going to see a version of that character that's even believable. Have y'all been paying attention to these fucking castings? Like, actually, we would be better off pointing out how much they don't look like their counterparts and, like, trying to compile the numbers as opposed to comparing them to the guys that do. And it's funny because, again, the Marvel Cinematic Universe wasn't built upon that. So they're saying they want to go in a different direction, which, okay, cool. It is what it is. It may work because that is a flaky audience. But if there's one place where normies will eat up whatever it is that you give them, it's in movies. So it may work out to them for the end. But like I said, when it comes to being a comic book fan, this is the absolute worst time. Because now I'm to the point where I don't want my favorite characters to pop up in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They're not going to look, not going to act anything like their comic book counterparts. We got fucking Titania being played by black-haired brown chick. The chick is a fucking white-ass redhead with a last name McFerrin, which don't get no more fucking Irish, Scottish than that. But hey, who cares, right? You're going to get characters nobody asked for. And Captain Marvel should have told you guys that was the direction that they were going. Up until then, basically every OG Avenger, rightfully so, made their appearance before everybody else, for the most part. They centered their films around Iron Man, OG Avenger, Hulk, OG Avenger, Thor, OG Avenger. The Ant-Man shit and the Wasp, yeah, granted, they're kind of a different Ant-Man and the Wasp. They went to Scott Lang one, but they did have them at least present, acknowledging that they were there before. That's what built that. That's what they built it upon. And now you're going to get a bunch of characters nobody asked for, right? I was looking at the list the other day. Hell, you can look at it some right here, right? Who the fuck is asking for Ironheart? She just got created. But, of course, Iron Man's out. We need a tokenized Iron Man. There you go. Miss Marvel. Nobody's asking for that. Nobody's asking for Kamala Khan. Nobody's asking for that. Again, book sales back me up on this, guy. Nobody's asking for this shit. America Chavez is supposed to be appearing with Doctor Strange. Nobody asked for that. Nobody. They're line skipping. And I told y'all that. It's funny. There's a video that I did. You can go check out. I called this out. I believe it's titled something along the lines of expect to start to see characters nobody asked for. And that's what they're giving you. But in prioritizing that, you're going to get non-organic. Why do I keep saying that? Organic growth in terms of character development in this series, whether it be of respecting the comic book lore, how they look, how they act. You're not going to get much of that, because first and foremost is, can they signal? Can they signal? Okay, then if they can do that, can they check a box? All right, cool. We'll get you in there. Can't we can't check a box? Okay, bet. Completely race change the character. That'll do it. Sexuality change the character. Gender swap the character, which they did with Marvel, which again was the most what they did to Marvel. I will not let them live that down. Captain Marvel, again, I believe is the absolute worst fucking film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it's not even close. I know some people didn't like Thor Ragnarok and stuff like that. This movie, Captain Marvel, in terms of how it shits on characters, there's nothing even close in terms of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What they did to the OG Marvel, the motherfucker that the chick is named after, right? Captain Marvel, right? They fucking gender swapped her, and it's like not even gender swap him, and it's not even like anything. It's not even Marvel. I will not let them live that shit down. It was absolutely fucking criminal. So again, expect tokenized versions of characters. Mutants are coming in. You're probably going to get Black Wolverine. Fantastic Four is going to be there soon enough. If you think you're going to, I say this all the time, if you think you're going to get a straight white functional family, you're out of your fucking mind. Not in Marvel going forward. It's just not happening. Golly, man, these guys, man. It should be a great time to be a fan. It should be a great time to be a fan of comic books, because now they got all this money, all the eyes, all the attention's being put upon these deals. And this is what we're going to get. You just watched a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake. Catch us live at 12 p.m. throughout the week over at youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and follow us over at odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. If you want to watch the entire video cast after the show is over, just be sure to become a member on the YouTube channel. Of course, the full audio portion of the podcast is available for free on all major digital platforms, or just visit forcanonsake.com.